Boy, oh boy, is this bus fighting us as we're getting into it here. It's a beautiful looking bus on the outside, but you got to realize that a bus built, I don't want to scare you here, but a bus built in the early 70s is now 50 years old. So we got a lot of work to do on here, and it's all fighting us. Okay. This is all water just pouring out of the air conditioner compressor in the engine compartment.
Definitely not a compressor oil, that is water, right?
Yeah, no, you'll see the compressor oil in a minute. There's some oil starting to come out of it.
So this tag axle is all worn out here. We'll tear into it and see what's going on. Look how dry and crusty this clamshell is. It's all worn. The metal's worn, rusted. It wasn't getting greased. The grease fitting was broke off on it. All right, so we're pulling the tag axle swing arm here. It's actually going pretty well. Tip on there. You see balance? It looks like it's balanced with that brake drum was sitting in on that jack. Try and pry it out a little bit.
Move it down.
See how thick it is down here and how thin it is up there. Definitely worn out. That's what all that plays there. The shock is definitely a little rusty on the bottom. We're replacing all that. That is not a good brake chamber. Hunter's using that wrench extender there. Nice to get some extra leverage on a wrench.
Yeah.
I bought that from the, I got that at the Mac Tools guy?
Yeah. Helps getting stuff broke loose.
It's safer than hooking two wrenches together is what it is.
Yeah. Once you get that initial break on it, usually it's loose enough to where you can get it by hand.
This is how that wrench extender works. Just hooks right on there. It's got a long handle screwdriver. And all this air conditioner stuff removed. Now he's got a big bay here where he's going to put a mini split in there. So it's got ventilation in the bottom and a big braided door on there. So definitely have room for it in there. That's nearly the size of a mini split there. And this, since this no longer worked, you had a crazy amount of water in the system too. I'm not sure where that all came from like that. That is very sparkly. Very, very sparkly oil coming out of the hub on here. I'll let you do it. I don't want to. Can you put it on inside the wheel well? Alright, take the extension off. Yep.
Yep. That sucks.
The Easy Red extendable 3/4 inch ratchet is pretty awesome.
Beat a little again, I'll do it again.
Well, that was definitely tight.
Tell you, might grab me a rag and set this stuff off. Yeah. Grab a couple. You see that?
Is there metal in there?
No. The thing got cloth back that way to where it's almost in the threads.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I need a little punch or something. Should work. Yeah. There you go. I think it popped out.
Oh wow. Eat through it.
I'm gonna guess that this bearing is loose. So see how much you can turn it to tighten it direction first back in. Not at all. Either way, huh? Holy shit. Got some messed up threads, huh?
Yeah.
Maybe just the socket. You know, pick tool, maybe grab that and pull it out. Drop it on the floor.
A lot of water.
Spin it around. Yeah, I mean, I see that kinds of pitting. There's where that key was off center.
Is that where chunky to it?
Yeah. That race is definitely worn out, needs replaced. Oh yeah, that is definitely leaking out of the middle of an air hose. As soon as he gets that off, Tyler, I'm gonna need you to test the service brakes so we can check the service side of the DD3s. Okay, go ahead and step on it.
Hold it.
Yep. Okay, Hunter, I'm gonna have him do it again, okay?
Okay.
Go ahead. You can't keep it held down? It blew or you?
I let off when the gauge was starting to drop past 60.
Okay, I need you to hold it down. If it auto deploys, it's okay.
Alright, here we go. We're going to lose air pressure in probably 10 seconds or less. Ready?
That's fine. That's what I need. Okay. Well, we're going to rebuild all these brake chambers. We're going to replace the inversion valve, air hoses. The brakes are really sad shape on this thing.
Just about sparkly.
Yep. These are the airbag bolts here. This is the longer one for the top airbag. And this one came with no threads. $6.80 a piece and there's no threads on it. Of course I put it on and Hunter was trying to get a nut started on it and then we realized there was no threads on it. That's crazy. We made a tool, clip on there, and stop those from pushing out at the bottom. Cool. It'll even work kind of sideways too. That's awesome. I could use the electric ratchet probably too instead of the regular ratchet. Make it easier.
I mean, this is just a 1/8" hex adapter to 3/8 that I cut off and welded with the crow's foot. The crow's foot's not damaged. You can take it off and use it on whatever. Piece of plate and a cheap pair of ice grips.
So these airbag bolts just have these two little tabs that stick down, very, very small. And once they pop out of the groove, that goes into a groove in the ring, and when they pop out, especially when they're rusted. This is an alloy one, this is an upgraded one. These were easy, these were the fronts. The rear ones are original steel back there, and they rust. So you gotta put a lot of tension to get the nut off of it when it's rusted. And all it's holding in is that tiny little dimple. Once the dimple pops out, you can't turn it anymore. So that's why we made that tool, so that it holds this up in there, presses it up against there tight. So, you know, there's no head on it or anything. It's smooth because the airbag rides on it. So if we hold that little keyway in there with that new tool, then we can get the nut off. It's working really good. 9 out of 10 times it's working. And the other time we just cut it off with a air hammer or a cut-off wheel or whatever's easy to get to, depending on where it's located. Okay, so we're getting a lot done here. We got this radius rod bushings here on the bottom on. We had to move the axle to get it to line up because the old ones were worn so much that the distance between the axle and the body was actually greater than what it was supposed to be. So we had to squeeze it back together in order to get that to fit on. We're removing this DD3 brake chamber. We're going to rebuild it because it's leaking internally. We accidentally broke off fitting on it and one on the other side as well. Everything is so corroded under here. We've removed this airbag and the 2 shocks are off right now. And this airbag is just about off. A couple more bolts on the backside to get to. All the hardware is so rusted. We're having lots of problems with it, but we're getting there. We made that new tool today that definitely helps you get in there and get a lot of them. We're replacing the leveling valves on there, all those air lines, and that inversion valve that's back up in there. There's a valve for the brakes on these DD3s that's back there. We have new boots, the full rebuild kits for that. We're still trying to get this bump stop's gonna be replaced, and then that radius rod that's up there, it runs to the top of the differential, and we're getting that off and replaced as well. Everything's a challenge. It's definitely fighting us. The swing arm we have off. We're replacing that bushing on the inside because it's so worn. The grease fittings were broken off on the clamshell, so it hasn't seen grease in God knows how long. For the most part, when people grease these, they just hit the fittings that they see, and if there's one broken off, you don't know it's supposed to be there. So if you don't know what you're doing, it doesn't get greased. Luckily, there was still some grease in there, but it was pretty dry, and it's been worn, and it's probably half the thickness at the top than it is at the bottom. So yeah, everything's getting lubed. We're gonna wire brush everything under here and spray some undercoating just to help protect it from future rust on there. And the other side of the swing arm was in good shape. We got the tune-up done on the engine. We went through on this 8V71 and set the timing on it. It's a 4-valve head, and I think it was N65 injectors. I can't remember. Tyler's the one that did it. I barred the engine over. I didn't do the complicated stuff. This shock and airbag are all on here. We have a new brake chamber going on here as well. New wheel seals. This hub's coming off, getting new bearings because the bearings are bad. Airbags are just about off over here too. Just a couple more bolts to do on them. And then that brake chamber's coming off as well. Leveling valve, all that. So shocks are off already. But that swing arm has a broken off grease fitting on it too. But when we wiggled it, it's in good shape. So we're gonna replace the grease fitting and we'll grease the crap out of it. Lots and lots of stuff going on. These front airbags are already on. We still have the leveling valve to replace up here. Replacing the brake hoses, brake chamber, that steering drag link kind of ball joint there is getting replaced. The tie rod ends are in good shape. We're not replacing the tie rod ends. He ordered them ahead of time thinking that's what the problem was, but they are not bad. So we're not going to get into those. But we still have some radius rods to do up here. There's 4 of them up here in the front that we'll be doing. And then the bump stops, he ordered new bump stops. Those are actually in pretty good shape, what's on there. I've never seen that urethane kind before, but yeah, we're making a lot of progress. It's just everything's fighting us. Everything's rusted. The structure of the bus is in really good shape. It's just the hardware and everything. If we get in there, we're gonna wire brush and scrape everything down and then re-undercoat it, and that should help protect it for another at least 5 years before he probably needs to do it again. Just to keep some of that crap off there and try not to drive it in salt, and I think he'll be in good shape. But that's just undercoating that's peeling off there. That's not rust up there or anything. This is getting new wheel bearings up here. Parts should start arriving tomorrow that we've ordered, so hopefully by tomorrow we'll have the rear radius rods done, the rear airbags done, leveling valves, we'll have the brake chambers off. Those rebuild kits won't be here till next week. Yeah, so this bus definitely, it's been driven a lot, It was owned by a NASCAR team, and apparently it seems like all they did maintenance-wise was just add fuel to it and maybe check the oil every once in a while. But none of the other bus stuff. It definitely never saw a bus mechanic, that I can tell you, because they would have been able to find a lot of those issues. It never saw anybody do any kind of a DOT inspection on it or anything like that. The holes in the brake chambers and leaky air lines everywhere and stuff like that. That's all stuff that should have been noticed years ago on it. This particular owner just bought this bus and he came directly to us, so definitely don't blame him on anything. We're replacing the seal on the fan hub up top. I don't want to open it right now. We've ordered that part from Luke. There's the fan gearbox up there. The front seal on it's leaking. We're going to replace that. Doing a full oil change. We're removing this air conditioner compressor that's getting ready to come out. Everything's disconnected. It is ready to come out. We just got to have the strength to remove it. And we're working on couple of electrical issues. We're having a problem with the generator charge light on it. We're just gonna try cleaning contacts and stuff like that first. The oil temperature sending unit or gauge, there's a problem with that too. And we're gonna try to either replace that wiring or just clean up the contacts on it, on the connections. But this side's got the hub off, ready to go. Again, new wheel bearings, brake chamber, all that. Brakes are in good shape, brake drums are in good shape. We're just gonna clean everything up. And yeah, it's a beautiful bus. And like I said, it was owned by a NASCAR team. And it's been a lot of work for us this week. And like I said, everything fighting us, rusted fasteners and all that. We have another bus coming in next week. Probably about the same amount of work on it. This one's obviously not gonna be done, so we're gonna have 2 in here at once. We'll have employees working on both vehicles. The next bus is a Prevost that has been extended 2 feet to fit us, upgraded from a 71 series to a Series 60. So that should be exciting. But yeah, we're doing a lot of work on this thing, and everything's fighting us. We'll get this other side of the shop cleaned out. We got Tyler's truck in here, and the Volkswagen thing is in here. But again, Oz is picking the thing up this weekend. He's gonna take it down to Alabama and paint it. It's gonna go back to orange, the original color that it was. So that'll be out of here, and then Tyler's truck is just in here to protect it from the storms. And then we got a couple motorcycles and stuff like that too that need to get out of here. So anyways, I just wanted to give you an update on this. And I want to thank everybody for watching our channel. We are hitting today 50 million views on the channel. That's a huge number. So thanks everyone for subscribing and watching. We definitely appreciate that. 50 million views. That's kind of a mind-boggling number for me to wrap my head around. But for somebody that works on old buses, it's kind of insane. But thank you very much, everybody.
See that white smoke rising up the holler through the trees, and from a mile away you can hear them play as they climb that hill with ease. At the top of that mountain there's a new life waiting for those who can make the run. If they can make it to the top, Scott will put them in the shop till their new life has begun. Mountain, where the buses come to run. Bus Grease Mountain, we're gonna get that big job done.